Step 1 to making soap is you get all your ingredients out, your materials, and you get your kitchen clean and ready. Have my soap making book out from seed to soap, and I am looking at my plan. I've written down the amounts of my ingredients that I'm about ready to measure. I have 2 sets of sticky notes because I'm making 2 separate batches, so I have a plan for both batches of soap. To make sure my scale is correct and I don't need to change the batteries, I'm going to make sure that it's accurate by weighing a US nickel that weighs 5 grams before I get started. One batch is going to be 50% distilled water and 50% frozen aloe vera gel harvested from a huge aloe vera leaf. You will use grams to measure your water or water replacement as well as your oils and essential oils. And in the book From Seed to Soap, all the measurements that you need for safe usage rates for essential oils and natural colorants are provided in helpful charts. Anytime you're working with lye, you're going to make sure you have gloves on as well as goggles, even if you wear glasses, in case there's any splashes of lye. You're going to pour your lye slowly into your liquid, allowing it to melt if you're using any sort of frozen water or water replacement, and you're going to stir slowly to make sure it dissolves so that you are not allowing it to cake. The only soap I've ever had to throw out was my second batch because I did not stir the lye well enough and it became cakey and would not dissolve in the water. And unfortunately, I did not realize that until I had added it to my oils. A sneak peek at my second batch, I'm using part water and part frozen local goat's milk. I'm adding the lye the same way. I mix each batch in a separate side of my sink so I do not get messed up, and I keep each side of my sink labeled with the batch that I'm making, as well as my stock pots on my stove stay labeled so that I'm adding the correct ingredients to each batch. Anytime I'm using frozen water or a frozen water replacement like milk, I always stir it until it's completely melted. The reaction from the lye and the liquid creates heat, which is going to melt it pretty quick. I always stir it just to make sure that the lye is not caking and it is becoming fully dissolved so that there's no problems in the rest of my soap making. If you are using milk, especially goat's milk, it will definitely turn your soap batter a ivory or yellow white color. It's not going to be a bright white soap, but aloe pulp and aloe juice, it won't really affect the color of your soap, so you'll be able to make a white soap if that's what your goal is. I label my 2 stock pots with the recipes I'm using. Both of these are in my book. One is a tallow and shea butter combination, and one is a lard and tallow combination. I keep things labeled so I do not make mistakes. All oils are measured in grams. I measure out all the hard oils and get them melted. Once they're melted, I remove them from the heat and I add my liquid oils. I set everything aside to cool and start preparing my additives such as activated charcoal or essential oils. Essential oils are also measured in grams. It's a smaller, more precise unit of measurement, and all the usage rates for these are in my book. I'm a natural soap maker, so what's in my book is exactly what I use. I use all natural colorants for colors, and I use essential oils for fragrance. I never use fragrance oils. That's just a personal choice. So I'm getting everything together and everything prepared as I'm waiting for these temperatures to drop. One of the ways to naturally color soap is by using clay. So one of these batches will be colored with French green clay and rose kaolin clay, and it also helps anchor the scent of the essential oils to last longer in the soap. So I mix the essential oils with the clay and I set this aside until I'm ready to use it. Having the clay in the essential oils also helps it to blend in the soap batter better and more smoothly without any clumps. Have all my additives ready and my oil temperature is coming down, so I'm going to add my liquid oils that are room temperature, which will speed up this process so that I'm waiting to get my oils around 100 degrees so that I can make soap by adding my lye solution.